If you want to tell me who to vote for or what's happening with the economy or immigration, please sit down. No one cares. One of the big losers, the celeb crowd. We touched on this yesterday. Beyonce, loser. Oprah, huge loser. J-Lo, you matter, you matter. Loser. No one cares what you think. If you want to talk to me about what it is you're doing to your skin, I'm all in. Go on. You got my full attention. If you want to tell me who to vote for or what's happening with the economy or immigration, please sit down. No one cares. We would like to know what happened between you and Ben Affleck, what happened between you and P. Diddy, exactly what you're doing to your butt, and how you keep your skin so glowy. That will end the list of things we care about J-Lo's opinion on. Taylor Swift, sorry, you effed around and found out. You do not have unlimited influence. The young girls love you because you sing songs about men who break up with you, and they can all relate to that. No one gives two shits about your political opinion, so you should take it and stuff it. That could be your next song. Stuff it. That's what the American electorate told me. We could play it on Thanksgiving as we do that to our turkeys. They will remind us of you and your political opinions. Julia Roberts, who outed herself not only as a leftist, which we knew, but as somebody who, and by the way, she's also a husband stealer. She stole the husband that she has right now in a reported affair. So, okay, maybe don't be the voice of the ad in which we talk about women betraying their husbands by injecting deceit into the marital relationship, because in the leftist view, marriages are not about honesty and talking about one's differences and agreeing to disagree on certain dicey issues, but they're about lying if you cannot persuade your spouse to believe as you do. And they believe this so strongly, you put it in an ad and ran it everywhere. The ad also portrayed Republicans as unattractive, bumpkiny, backward losers. And as it turns out, that's what even the sitting president of the United States thinks about them, that they're garbage. The possible next vice president, at least as of last week, Tim Walz, thinks they're Nazis. So she does speak for a large collective, and that collective has done this to her. I'm giving the bird to my listening audience. So Julia Roberts, yet another big loser, and her pal George Clooney, who did something similar for another ad, same. You got Joe Biden out. How'd it work out for you? How'd that go?
This video makes a solid point. A lot of us are getting tired of celebrities like Taylor Swift trying to get involved in politics and acting like their opinions are somehow representative of the average person. Sure, they have the right to speak their minds, but the problem is that many of them are completely out of touch with the reality that everyday Americans live. Living in a bubble of wealth and fame doesn't give them the authority to tell us how to vote or what to do about the economy or immigration. What annoys people isn't that they have opinions, it's that they act like their celebrity status somehow gives them moral power to influence important political decisions. People go to Taylor's concerts because they like her music, not because they want to hear her thoughts on Biden or how to fix the country. The same goes for others like Beyonce or J-Lo, who've also dived into the political game. At the end of the day, their opinions don't reflect what most of the country is thinking. They represent a small elite group that lives in a completely different world from the working class, families, and average voters. If they really want to make an impact, they should focus on what they do best: entertain. That's what people appreciate them for. Their political views don't carry much weight when they're so disconnected from the daily realities that most people are dealing with.
Screw you, Taylor Swift. That's how I would like to begin. This woman has got she's a billionaire. I saw her amazing mansion in Rhode Island. I went to some hotel there, and there it is up on a cliff. You've never seen a more beautiful home. It's one of, 20? She's got so many gifts thanks to all of you. Thanks to your daughters, who you probably had to drag to her concerts, and you want to make your daughter happy, and so you did it, and it's true whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. And how does she thank this nation? She turns around. Not only does she pick a side in a hotly contested presidential election, alienating at least half of her fan base, but she says the reason she's voting for Kamala Harris is because of Tim Walz's LGBTQ stance. Do you know what Tim Walz has done on the LGBTQ front? Let me tell you what's gonna happen, okay? Here's what's gonna happen. A little girl sitting in Wisconsin who's maybe on the spectrum, maybe has acne, maybe is a little heavy set, maybe feels upset because the parents are getting divorced, something like that, is going to find herself down a rabbit hole on Reddit. And her parents aren't gonna know because they're getting a divorce and they're not focused on her right now. And she's gonna spend hour after hour on that thing, and Reddit's gonna tell her she's actually a boy. And she's gonna get sucked into this gender cult, and she's gonna say, Mom and Dad, I want puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, which will sterilize her and deprive her of all sexual pleasure for the rest of her life. And they're gonna say, no, you're a girl. And she's gonna say, but I want top surgery, this benign thing, this double mastectomy where I'll have tubes coming out of me and I'll never breastfeed a child. I want that too, because I'm a boy. And they're gonna say no. And she's gonna go to a judge in Minnesota, and because of Tim Walz, the court will take custody of her, use the Medicaid funds in Minnesota to provide her all of those things, chop off her breasts, sterilize her with the puberty blockers and the cross-sex hormones. And when this girl inevitably comes to the conclusion that she didn't want any of this, that it only added to her problems, which were the divorce and the acne and the puberty and not any trans issue, who is she gonna go to then? This is all because of Tim Walz. That's what Minnesota is doing right now to little girls and boys, taking custody away from the parents so that they can have these procedures without any loving parent there to help. And that's what Taylor Swift just endorsed for your children. So screw you, Taylor Swift.
That is, first of all, thank you for saying that. And pardon my ignorance, this is one of those topics that's so upsetting to me. I have too many children, I think. They can take custody?
Yeah, there's a law that Tim Walz signed that says the court can take jurisdiction, which in this instance means custody, over minor children who are not getting the gender-affirming care, which is a lie. There's only two sexes, gender's bullshit. There's men and there's women. One cannot become the other. And he signed a law saying that they can take jurisdiction over minor children who are not being affirmed by their children and get all of those procedures done outside of any connection. Your parents will have nothing to do with it. They won't have access to you.
That's so dark.
Yeah.
I have to say, you were describing how rich Taylor Swift is. Why isn't she happy?
Good question. I mean, listen, what is she, like 32? I don't know what she is. She's young. She's never had a relationship that works. She makes a lot of money off of writing about it. That could be part of the problem. Like, for the reasons you were just discussing. When you find true love, when you have somebody who loves you unconditionally, warts and all, that's everything. And she hasn't been able to find it. She's made a lot of money off of it. And I think she travels from city to city without the grounding that you have, that I have, that hopefully all of you have. And maybe she's feeling untethered. Maybe she's feeling empty and lost, and maybe she wants other people to make similar decisions in life as she has.
Nowadays, it's increasingly common to see celebrities influencing politics, and often their opinions are not only ill-informed, but also impact important sectors of society. Figures like Taylor Swift, who should focus on her music and entertainment, have ventured into supporting policies that promote left-wing ideologies, especially around LGBTQ+ rights and gender identity. While everyone has the right to express their views, the problem is that these celebrities use their massive platforms to push a political agenda that often conflicts with the traditional values of many families and communities. A particularly concerning issue is the growing trend of allowing minors to access gender-affirming treatments without parental consent. This is not only a severe violation of parental rights, but it also exposes children to irreversible decisions that can have long-term consequences. Such policies, sometimes pushed by public figures, undermine parental authority and open the door for the state to intervene in deeply personal matters like a child's health and well-being. From a conservative perspective, it's crucial to protect children and ensure that decisions about their health and future are made in a supportive family environment, not influenced by external ideologies or pressures. Celebrities have every right to be activists, but they shouldn't use their fame to impose their views on the rest of society, especially when it comes to matters that affect the most vulnerable. It's essential to respect family values and protect the rights of parents to decide what's best for their children.